Hello, welcome back to
Chocolate Tomatoes.
I'm Ashley,
And I'm Corey.
and we are your guides for the 411 on Black Christmas movies this holiday season. And our review that we're doing today is on Hope Street Holiday. But before we get into Hope Street Holiday, we're going to talk about what we are drinking on today. Drum roll, please. What are we drinking on?
It's your created wine when we were out there at Raymond Winery in Napa.
So yes, y'all, this is Corey Port 2025. I made this blend, cheers, out there in Napa Wine Valley at the Raymond Vineyard, y'all. So if you get a chance to make it out to Napa, visit Raymond Vineyard and do the winemaking class. But proceed with caution because there is some wild stuff at this vineyard, y'all.
It's a very unusual place.
Yes, and if you have been there, let us know if you have and what your thoughts are on this vineyard down below in the comments or the experience itself. And before we also get started today, we wanted to talk about another movie real quick. We just want to give y'all a mini review because we had to, y'all. Share this review with y'all before we get out of here this holiday season. We had to bring this movie to y'all, to your attention. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about this movie.
This is a Tubi movie, Tubi channel exclusive. It's called The Grinch That Stole All the Bees. It's about exactly what you expect with a title like that. This movie is beyond bitter, in my opinion. I wouldn't really waste my time.
Yeah, y'all, this movie is out there, but I will say creatively, though, this movie is extremely creative. Just from the movie itself to what they go through scene after scene, it is a creative movie. So if you're looking for something different and out there, proceed with caution, but this is definitely different and out there. But this is not a movie, y'all, that we recommend for y'all to watch. But I will say that if you do watch it, proceed with caution. If you have seen this movie, let us know your thoughts, y'all, down below, y'all, in the comments, what you think about this movie.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, just know I sacrificed 90 minutes of my life so that you don't have to.
All right, so on to Hope Street Holiday. So tell us about this movie.
Okay, Hope Street Holidays. Filmed in 2023, directed by Brandon Morrison, written by Isadora Ortega for the Hope Street Production Company, and it was starring Isadora Ortega as well as Galia Garcia, Rodney Rakai, I guess I'm saying that right, Rakai as Terrence, and Jackie Nova as Charlene Garcia, with a special appearance by Guy Torry. Let's see. Now, I'll give you a little synopsis of the film. Attorney Galia Garcia returns to her small hometown after being dumped days before Christmas. With the help of a 5-year-old orphan, her crazy aunties, and the magic of the season, Galia heals from past trauma, rediscovers her self-worth, and falls in love all over again.
All right, y'all, you can find this movie on Tubi, y'all, for free from your couch. So real quick, right? So let's go over our chocolate tiers for Chocolate Tomatoes. So we have hot chocolate, which means that it's in the rotation every year. This is a great watch. Go ahead and watch this movie, recommend it, right? Then we have sweet chocolate, right? It might have had some hiccups or some hangups about it, but it's a really good movie still that you would recommend. And then we have semi-sweet, right? You're really close to saying, hey, skip this movie, right? But then we have semi-sweet, right? Semi-sweet is like a so-so movie. You don't know if you would recommend this movie. It's kind of like borderline maybe bad, or it could be borderline maybe good that you would recommend, right? So this is semi-sweet. And then we have altogether bitter, which means skip this movie. Do not waste your time on it. So those are our chocolate tiers, guys. Those are our chocolate tiers, right? So we're going to go into the preliminary part of our review today, where we're just going to answer some preliminary questions without spoiling the movie. And then we'll move into the juice part of our segment, where this is all the spoilers, and we are going to squeeze these tomatoes, y'all. We're going to squeeze all the juice out of these.
Get all the juice out we can.
Yes, so this is the spoiler section. So at this point, if you have not seen Hope Street Holiday, we'll tell you guys to log off, go watch the movie, y'all, and then come back, y'all. come back here to Chocolate Tomatoes Film and finish the review, and then let us know down in the comments below what you think or what your thoughts are. All right, so let's get into this review, shall we? All right, so let's get into Hope Street Holiday, right? This movie, of course, was made or released in 2023, and let's talk about the acting in this movie. How do you feel about the acting?
I think a few of the characters, the acting was pretty well done. I think the male lead, Terrence, I think he did a pretty good job. Guy Torry, obviously he did.
Guy Torry.
Guy Torry. Did I say Joe? Guy Torry. With what he was given, I think he did a pretty good job. And I think the aunties, I thought, did a good job.
Yeah, y'all, the aunts were really the reason to watch this story. I mean, they were funny. The drama that they kept up was funny. And I will say the acting, to me, is what saved this movie. This is what really saved and helped out this movie a lot, was the acting. I will say, though, the main girl, her acting wasn't, as crisp as you would like it to be with her being on the screen, 90% of the time?
Yeah.
But it was well enough from who she was acting, alongside, her counterparts. Their acting was strong enough that you could kind of overlook some of her flaws in her acting. She's also the lead actress, and writer. So we'll get into more of the screen part in the juice part of our segment. Okay, so the lead acting, we've discussed that already, right? So how do you think the chemistry was between the actors?
I think it was good enough. She wrote the two lead characters well enough you could see the chemistry with them. And for the few times you saw it, you could see it, that chemistry with her quote unquote rival.
Yeah.
She didn't show up a whole lot, but when she was there, you could tell there was animosity in between them.
Yeah. I will say I really like the chemistry between her and the lead guy, I really like the chemistry between the two of them. I love the chemistry between, her and her aunts. And I think it's most important to have good chemistry if you're telling a love story. I think it's really important to have good chemistry between the two love interests in the movie, because that's who you're watching a good, 80% of the time in the movie.
Kind of have to, because if it's not there,
yeah, that's your movie.
That's your movie.
All right, so let's go into the pace of this movie. How do you feel like the pace was?
The pacing, it's a 90-minute movie. It doesn't feel like it's too long. It doesn't really feel like it's too short. But when you get to the ending, when they're trying to wrap things up, it felt incomplete.
Yeah.
Like there was, what they were trying to portray at the end, it doesn't necessarily work because of things they missed or omitted in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. The pace of this movie was a little off, especially at first, because you were kind of confused because they dumped so much stuff on you at one time. But once they cleared it up and, you kind of got the gist of it, a little bit, then you were fine until they threw another curveball at you. But we'll get more into that in the juice part of our review today. All right, so do you feel like there was any plot holes in this movie?
Yeah, I do. Really, in my opinion, the biggest one, and kind of only one I think that's really really an issue, is the dynamic between Galia and the little orphan girl. That's really the biggest plot hole, because I feel like they don't spend enough time developing the relationship between those two, and you don't realize how important that relationship is supposed to be to the movie.
Yeah, definitely. What did you like about the movie?
The aunts.
Yeah, I will say the aunts are
those three ladies, and the way they manipulating this girl throughout the whole movie. They were the ones to watch. Yeah,
I will say the aunts were definitely the thing to watch with this movie. I personally like the love story. This was a love story that you get, but you don't normally get, I guess, with this kind of love story that you don't normally get with holiday movies, I feel like.
Yeah.
You do, but you don't. They have like a little twist, to it. So That's what I liked about it, was the love story. Do you think that they completed the story that they were trying to tell?
Yes. By the end of the movie, you know what they were trying to get across, and they accomplished that. And certain parts of it, I don't know if they did the greatest, but you weren't confused by the time you got to the end of the movie.
Yeah, I agree by that. There were a few plot holes for me, but we'll discuss that in the juice part. But for the most part, they weren't so detrimental to where I'm like, I don't know if I would review this movie or not recommend. I'm sorry. I don't know if I would recommend this movie, but they weren't that detrimental to where I would say I don't know if I would recommend it. All right, so let's get into our chocolate rating, y'all. So what would you rate this movie?
Yeah, I had to give it a semi-sweet because, like I said, by the time you get to the end of the movie, when they reveal what the point of the movie is trying to be, you don't really get a feel for that's where they were supposed to be trying to go.
Yeah, I'll give this movie a semi-sweet as well. Like I said, just the production and just the way things were filmed. Also, we'll get into the wardrobe as well real quick before we get into the juice part. But it was a few instances with the wardrobe that were very distracting in this movie, I will say, that gave it a semi-sweet as well, or kind of pushed it to a semi-sweet. I know you guys are like, really? The wardrobe? But you'll see, y'all, when y'all watch this movie, you'll see what I'm talking about when I say that the wardrobe distracted you from what was going on in the movie. All right, so let's get into what we did not like about this movie.
What did I not? There are a lot. The tree scene. There's parts of it. The continuity, I guess, is what I want to say. There's a continuity issue at different points in the movie, and it doesn't really hold up. And I think a lot of it's just because of poor camera shots.
Yes.
That's kind of the hardest thing to reconcile with the movie.
Yeah, I will say this movie had quite a few hang-ups in it. The cinematography was definitely a big one. Some of the angles that they got and even some of the B-roll footage that they threw in there was really random from what the original shot, from what you came from, the original scene. That was really kind of off-putting. Again, from what I was talking about with my semi-sweet rating with the wardrobe, y'all, she had quite a few hair issues. I will say
the hair was wow.
It was really distracting in this movie, and we'll get into more of that in the juice part. But be on the lookout for that when you watch this movie. All right, so now that we have given y'all a preliminary review of this movie, it is now time to get into the juice part of our review. So if you have not seen Hope Street Holiday, log off now. Go watch Hope Street Holiday. Come back here, y'all, right here. Check out the rest of the review and let us know what you think about this movie, y'all. Yes. Down below in the comments.
So, fair warning, spoilers start now.
All right, so let's get into Hope Street Holiday, right? So, how do we feel about a woman ordering a man's meal or food for a man? Dating, not married, dating.
I don't have an issue with it as long as you are you know what I'm going to order anyway. Like, you can't order for me and you don't really know me and it's something I don't like. Then we have an issue. But if you know what I like, we've been together long enough, and well, he's going to like this, I'm going to order this for him. I have no issue with that. I'm going to eat either way. But
you don't see that as like trying to take my manhood or like overbearing or anything as a female?
No, I'm trying to eat.
He said he's trying to eat. So fellas, if you're watching this, let us know, what do you think about a woman ordering a man's food? Are you okay with it or are you not okay? And if so, why? All right, so let's talk about this breakup scene. Was it wrong of him to break up with her in a public place? Like, I felt like he should have called her back to the house and it's like, look, this isn't working out. Like, why waste my time and bring me to dinner if this isn't it? Or do you think maybe he had an epiphany at dinner? Like, okay, this ain't gonna work.
I think he planned. This is what he intended to do. Now, if his plan was to have dinner and then break it to her, It's like, well, at least, I'll buy her some dinner before I, go loose or whatever. But he didn't even do that. But I feel like she might have brought that on herself. He probably intended on sitting there having dinner, and then over the course, tell her this isn't working or whatever. But she jumped right in there, ordering for him, being judgmental, this, that, and the other. He's like, you know what?
Don't even worry about it. You know what? I kind of felt like he didn't bring her there to break up, initially. I thought it was kind of like the last thing, like, okay, I'm going to give this girl one last shot. And depending on what she says, she's either out of here or we're going to finish the meal and be okay, Do you feel like he meant to break up with her?
I think that was his plan.
It was planned?
It was planned because he goes into, like, we want different things. You don't want kids. You don't want to be married. Why are we even dating at this point?
I will say, ladies watching, if he did plan that, don't waste our time like that. If you want to break up, call us back to the house and say, hey, look, it's over with. Don't break my heart out there in public to where I got to be.
I disagree.
What?
I disagree.
Why? Why do y'all think like
because
that?
If I don't know how you're going to react, I'm not going to be in a place where it's just the two of us.
Why?
Because you're not going to act crazy out there with all these people. I can go and then I can leave you. If we at my house and I break up with you, I got to get you out of the house.
But you don't do it at your house, though. You go to her house and break up with her. That way you can leave.
Now you at your house, you know where all the weapons are.
So is that what this is about?
Wherever. Listen, fellas, if you got to break it off with a girl, you do it wherever you feel comfortable.
Wow. Okay. Well, can you not waste our time in the process if you want to break up? Or why can't you send a text? Or a call or something.
Because that's trifling.
Yeah, that is trifling. But still, you could call, though.
And if you want to talk about wasting time, she's dating this man knowing she don't want to get married. Who's wasting whose time?
Yeah, I will say they kind of wasted each other's time. But I will say, though, that I like the fact that he did say, okay, you know what? This isn't going to work out based off of your actions and these things that you said. We can no longer go about this. So I am happy that he did not waste her time in that sense. But
now did it have to be close to Christmas?
That was.
I don't know. I mean, you could have did it around Thanksgiving or something. I don't know.
Yeah, is home where people go to clear their heads? Because remember, the waitress told her that she needed to go home to clear her head, or that's what she does. So, do you feel like people go home to clear their head?
I don't know. A lot of people might run away from home to clear their head. I don't know. But I guess it all depends on the person. But I like that they put that right at the front of the movie. All right, this is what it is. You can always go home, no matter what happens, what's going wrong. You can always go home. And I like that they kind of drove that point home, like right at the beginning of the movie.
Absolutely. Let's get into the next thing. All right, y'all. So I talked about this in the preliminary part. Like, we touched on like the wardrobe and the hair and things, y'all. But I cannot get past Leah's hair. What is that?
Yeah, the hair was a character all its own.
Yes, like they kept making jokes about it, which was distracting, right? And then just the way she kept wearing it, like even at one point, Terrence, the guy that played Terrence, had to move her hair out of the way in order to kiss her in one scene. So I felt like they should have toned the hair down a little bit instead of doing, the twist. They should have probably did some box braids or something like that. I don't know, maybe if she wrote that in there, meaning for the hair to be its own character. But if she does another movie or like a continuance of this movie, I feel like she needs to tame the hair down some. Or maybe just have one or two scenes where they're cracking jokes about the hair and then boom, finally she gets it done. That would have been more acceptable.
Because they talk about her hair throughout
the entire movie. And it's just like...
And not necessarily in like a good way.
Yeah, it's just like, get your hair together, woman. And it's like she never does. And it's really distracting throughout the whole movie. So, if, she's watching, if you're watching this review, maybe if you do a Hope Street Holiday Part 2, maybe just have one or two little scenes with the hair and then the rest of the movie, kind of tame it down some so we're not as distracted. All right, so Terrence gets married to her arch nemesis, y'all, Rose Stevens. So we find out through the course of events, he ends up getting, divorced from her, right? So how do we feel about this situation? Do we feel like Leah was right to slip in there? Do we feel like Leah should have shot her shot before she left? And maybe Terrence wouldn't have wasted his time with Rose Stevens? How do we feel?
Terrence should have shot his shot before she left.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you didn't. Terrence is in a small town. There probably ain't a whole lot of prospects. Galea's gone. She left. So I got to work with what I got.
Terrence, fellas, I've said this in a review before. If you feel a way about a woman, tell her. That way you're not wasting your time chasing after her if she don't want you, or if she does and she reciprocates, then y'all can avoid years of heartache, separation, and in Terrence's case, a whole marriage and divorce that he knew wasn't right from the jump, right?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. They were childhood friends. They were all childhood friends.
Yes, but
he don't know it don't. He know he wants somebody else, but he don't know that this ain't gonna work.
He wasn't based on the flashbacks, y'all, of this movie. He was not showing any interest in Rose Stevens.
No,
she was showing interest in him, but he was interested in Leah. And that's what I'm saying. Why settle when you know you want something? Go after it.
That man said they wanted different things. She was hell bent on getting out of that town.
She really was. Well, go with her if you like her. Go with her. I mean, basketball isn't the only thing.
I think he's scared.
He was.
I mean, because.
But don't be scared, fellas. That's the advice I'm giving.
Yeah. If he ended up being a baker in this small town, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you could have left. Like running the bakery is not something that says, I can't leave. I got to run this bakery.
Yeah.
They can buy bread at the grocery store.
But yeah, fellas, I mean, if you're scared, get up some courage and tell this woman how you feel, because you don't want to waste your time, nor do you want to waste her time. Or you might not be wasting time at all. Y'all might actually get together and live happily ever after. You never know unless you try. All right, so let's get into the history behind Terrence and Leah, right? So we know that they first kissed at a bakery. We find that out. The aunts seem to know that Terrence, has this thing for Leah all along. I mean, it's just this big, huge thing. And when they do the flashbacks, us as the audience can even see, that they had chemistry.
The aunts know a lot. Like, they know that Galea and Galia, I don't know how you would pronounce her name, and
Rose, call her Leah for sure.
Rose don't like each other. But they also know that the reason they don't like each other is just a misunderstanding. So they manipulate both of them into reconciling. These aunts know a lot for these people that have not been around each other for a long time.
They do. The aunts, y'all, again, are the reasons to watch this movie. One aunt in particular, the aunt Charlene. Charlene even has a love interest, Walter, which is really random, but you want to know more about it. Like, I wish
Mr. Walter.
Yes, I wish we could have gotten a little bit more of their relationship in this movie as well, y'all. So if there is a Hope Street Holiday Part 2, please continue Walter and Charlene's relationship. We would love to see where that goes. Definitely in the future. All right, so the one thing I had a problem with is they never really emphasized how much time has gone by in these movies. They never emphasized how much time Leah and Terrence spent together when she came back in town. Was it just a few weeks, a few days?
You don't know how long she's been in town.
Yeah, so
because we don't know how long it is until Christmas. But she's saying that she's going to leave after Christmas. But we don't know if that's a week, 2 weeks, week and a half. We don't know what that is.
They kind of do tell time just a little bit in the beginning, because she's only supposed to be gone 2 or 3 days from work, and then her boss calls and she's like, I don't know when I'll be back. And then after that point, you kind of lose track about where the timing is in this movie. And maybe some stuff might be a little premature in this movie for the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But she don't really tell her boss.
Yeah.
That she says she's going to handle stuff for her mom because her mom died. She don't say anything about Christmas.
No.
It's not until she gets there that she says she's going to be there for Christmas.
And then this is the thing that I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so we know that she's supposed to adopt Southerly at the end of this movie, right? So is she only spending one day with Southerly and then she makes that connection and that, you know, forethought that she wants to adopt Southerly at the end of this movie? Like it's one day, you know what I'm saying? For a few hours maybe? Like a decided.
But see, that's my issue with the ending of the movie. Because I don't feel like throughout the movie, there's really not a whole lot of interaction with Southerly and Leah. For her to be at the end, you know what, I want to adopt this little girl.
Yeah.
That's what gets, like, every so often the little girl will pop up and then take off. And then there's one scene where she took her to the general store looking for a treat. But that's about it. And even then, she's talking to Terrence. Leah, like, the little girl's not even really part of the scene. So you don't ever really feel like they're developing any kind of
a relationship.
Yeah, relationship.
Actually, I kind of feel like Terrence has a better relationship with Southerly than Leah has with Southerly. So it would make sense that maybe he would want to adopt her versus Leah.
So for that to be the end of the movie, it kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I will say that with the writing of this movie, the writing also was a big part in the reason why I rated this movie a semi-sweet was the writing. Like I said, the storyline wasn't bad, but it was just the plot holes, y'all. The plot holes and just the questions that you had that were never addressed or never answered. All right, so one big thing or one plot hole that I wanted to talk about was the flashback, the first one where they were at the basketball game and Terrence hurts his knee and Leah finds out that Rose is really tripping, you know. So we'll talk about that flashback. So usually with flashbacks, the people that have speaking lines are the ones that you talk to, or not talk to, but the ones that you pay attention to, especially the two main people that have the most speaking lines. What they don't tell you is you're supposed to pay attention to everybody in this flashback, whether they have a one-liner, a two-liner, or they're speaking pretty much most of the time, right? Yeah. So, y'all, that was a huge plot hole. I don't know how they could have written this to make us pay attention to everybody. Can you think of a way?
The only thing I can think is to cut some of this stuff out. Because looking at that flashback, you think that is strictly building up that love triangle. Leah, Rose, and Terrence. Yeah. You know, that this is why she don't like her because he likes her. But no, there's everything in there. Yeah. The reason their marriage fell apart is because of this other guy that hurt him, and you know, it's everything. It's everything. The other movie. Friend in there is a major part of the movie that you don't realize. Yes. Even though she's, you know, in present time she's not there, but she's a major part of the movie. You don't realize any of that in this flashback. You know what I think they could have done is they could have, before she left from, was it Miami? They don't really say. I don't know where she came from or where she moved to. But they could have had her maybe looking at old photos or whatever, and her friend being pregnant in the photos, and then maybe showing like a baby and her saying her friend's name or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That way you could know, okay, when we get here, maybe this little girl is her best friend's daughter or something. Like, she should have had a couple of extra scenes, like little mini scenes in there to help you connect the dots, because her throwing that flashback at you and expecting you to connect all the dots. And even because that flashback is after you've seen Southerly as a little girl. And then when her introduction is just a random, this little girl is here. And they don't really say who she is or who she belongs to, anything. They're just, the neighborhood is taking care of this little girl. And I will say, they said her friend's name quite a few times after this, but because she's not on screen, you really don't make the connection. And I feel like they should have found a way to put a face with a name constantly so you could make that connection. Because you're thinking, again, that this is the B-line story, so you're not really paying that much attention to it, because in my mind, I'm thinking the love story is the A story. And really, the B story is the A story. Her adopting Southerly and her missing her best friend, you know, is the A story. And the boy, or Terrence, shall I say, the man, the Baker boy that's why I get the boy from, Baker boy, is the actual B-line story. So
that is the interesting part, I will say, of this movie. The next thing I want to talk about, y'all, is what Corey calls the nookie cookies. So
Yeah.
we have a question for y'all. How would y'all feel if you ordered cookies from someone, or just food in general from someone, and you found out that they were doing a little more than baking cookies or baking or cooking around your food? How would you feel? Would you be okay with that? You know,
That was so unsanitary. That was so unsanitary.
we've seen a few movies where they've had some nookie cookies or some nookie food.
But
food
usually
things.
it's like these are your personal. Like they just making cookies in the kitchen. They're going. This is for the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
You baking these cookies for the entire town for the little Christmas block party, and y'all being nasty in the kitchen.
But yeah, sound off in the comments, audience. Let us know how you feel about people doing other activities around your food. So one thing I did want to talk about real quick is the cinematography of this movie, y'all. So we're supposed to be going, downtown at this point. They're having the, storefront, decorated storefront contest, right? So we're expecting, to follow more of the characters downtown, right? And all of a sudden they show Southerly, saying that she wanted to go play and stuff in the snow. And then we get to these weird B-roll shots of like Santa Claus and like the town and things.
Random town things in the town.
Yeah.
People you've never seen before.
Yes. And I felt like they could have left all that out and just included some more things that were important to the story, like answering some of these plot holes.
Yeah. Well, all of that wasn't necessary when you could have used that opportunity to develop more of a rapport between Southerly and Leah. Absolutely.
I felt like maybe they should have showed a scene of her saying, "Come on, Southerly, let's go play in the snow together." Maybe Southerly tells her, how she's always been feeling or something. I feel like they really missed the moment there. And then at that point, once Southerly told her maybe a secret or something, her and Terrence could have continued, their romance as they did in the story.
Another thing, I feel like it was a missed opportunity, and I guess maybe it's because it's a Christmas movie. Everybody thinks they have a Christmas tree scene. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the Christmas trees, she could have just taken her Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you Christmas shopping, and they use that time to develop. Mm-hmm. But to say, all right, we're going to go look for a Christmas tree, and then next thing we know, we're in a general store.
Yes.
When there's no trees.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, she bumps into Terrence at the general store. So now, Southerly is not even part of this scene anymore. It's this romantic scene. And that's just another instance of, but Southerly is supposed to be the main point at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie.
Yeah, like I said, the writing to me is what tanked this movie. The acting was what saved the movie.
Yeah. But it wasn't even any trees. It was what, one tree in the general store?
One tree. Mm-hmm.
But you Christmas tree shopping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she should have just said, "I'll take you shopping for decoration." Mm-hmm. Maybe she could have saw an ornament or something on the tree that reminded her of her mom, or like, yeah, my mom used to talk about you too, and how y'all used to make snow angels or something, So it was just missing a few key points to help tie both of these storylines together so it would make sense at the end of the movie. All right, so how would you feel being Terrence if you knew that the only reason Leah stayed or wanted to stay is to adopt Southerly, not because she's in love with you and wanted to stay?
Hey, listen, if I'm the baker boy in the small town, I'm just glad you're staying. Even if it's not because of me, you staying, I can work on you. You here so I can work on you still.
Wow.
If you leave, at least she's still here.
At least you're still here. Well, there you have it, audience. Also, let us know down below in the comments. If you're watching this far into the review, we wanted to say thank you, but let us know.
Thank you very much.
But let us know down below in the comments, y'all, if you found out that the person you were interested in only stayed because of something other than yourself, if you were interested in them. How would you feel? Would you keep pursuing them? Or would you say, hey, forget it? If I'm not enough for you to stay, then just don't even worry about it. Let us know how you feel down below in the comments. Well, y'all, that is our review of Hope Street Holiday. We also do a trilogy movie or a trilogy series every Christmas, y'all. And the Chandler Christmas trilogy, we've also done the Coin for Christmas trilogy. And this year we wanted to bring you the Wesley family Christmas trilogy. That's a lot, y'all, to say. The Wesley family Christmas trilogy. So stay tuned, y'all, for that. We have one more review, y'all, after the Wesley Christmas trilogy to do, and then we will be done for this holiday season. So stay tuned for that. All that will be coming up this week before New Year's, y'all. So stay tuned for that, y'all. And we appreciate you guys watching Chocolate Tomatoes, and we will see you next time. Peace.